Hello there. Welcome to Deep Thinker's Haven. Today, let's dive into one of philosophy's most enduring conundrums, the problem of evil. This topic has puzzled thinkers for centuries and is deeply connected to questions about suffering, morality, and the nature of the divine. So, grab a cup of coffee and let's explore this fascinating subject together. What's the problem of evil? At its core, the problem of evil is a philosophical and theological dilemma that challenges the existence of an all-powerful, all-knowing and all-good deity in the face of evil and suffering in the world. If such a deity exists, why is there so much pain and suffering? Think of it like this. If God is all good, then he would want to eliminate suffering. If God is all-powerful, then he could eliminate suffering. But suffering exists, so either God is not all good, not all powerful, or simply does not exist. This presents a significant problem for many religious and philosophical systems that posit an all-powerful, benevolent deity. Traditional responses to the problem of evil. Philosophers and theologians have come up with several responses to this problem. Here are some of the main ones. The free will defense. One popular response is the free will defense. This argument, championed by thinkers like Augustine and John Hick, suggests that evil exists because humans have free will. Free will allows us to make our own choices, including the choice to do evil. Without free will, we wouldn't truly be able to choose good either. Our goodness would be more like programmed obedience. This perspective argues that free will is a greater good that justifies the existence of evil. In other words, the potential for genuine love and moral goodness is worth the risk of choosing poorly. The Soul-Making Theodicy. Another interesting approach is the Soul-Making Theodicy, which argues that suffering and evil are necessary for personal growth and development. According to this view, proposed by thinkers like Irenaeus and Hick, the challenges and hardships we face are opportunities for spiritual and moral growth. Without suffering, we wouldn't develop virtues like courage, compassion, or resilience. In this framework, suffering is not a pointless affliction, but a transformative process that shapes us into better, more mature beings. The greater good defense. Some philosophers argue that evil exists because it serves a greater purpose. This is known as the greater good defense. The idea here is that what we perceive as evil might be necessary for the realization of a greater good that we cannot fully understand. For example, the presence of suffering might lead to greater acts of kindness or moral courage that wouldn't have emerged otherwise. This perspective suggests that the universe is designed in such a way that even seemingly pointless suffering contributes to a larger, positive outcome. The Process Theology Perspective process. Theology offers a different angle, proposing that God is not omnipotent in the classical sense. Instead, God is seen as a participant in the evolving universe, working alongside creation to bring about good, despite the existence of evil. According to this view, God's power is persuasive rather than coercive, meaning that while God can influence events, he cannot unilaterally prevent all suffering. In this view, evil is part of the dynamic process of the world, and God is continually working to mitigate suffering and bring about the best possible outcomes. Alternative perspectives and critiques. Not everyone is convinced by these traditional responses. Some critics argue that they don't fully address the depth or scale of suffering in the world. For instance, the sheer magnitude of suffering, like natural disasters or the suffering of innocent children, can seem disproportionate to the explanations offered by traditional theodicies. Others challenge the notion that suffering is always redemptive, or that it necessarily leads to personal growth. They argue that some suffering appears to be utterly senseless and without purpose. The ongoing debate. The problem of evil is more than just a theoretical issue. It's a deeply personal and practical one. Many people grapple with this problem in their own lives, especially when faced with personal tragedies or injustices. The philosophical debates around it offer different lenses through which to understand and cope with suffering, but they don't always provide easy answers. In the end, the problem of evil invites us to reflect on the nature of existence, morality, and the divine. It challenges us to consider how we can find meaning and purpose in a world that includes both beauty and suffering. Whether or not one subscribes to the traditional responses or alternative perspectives, engaging with these ideas can deepen our understanding of both our own beliefs and the human condition. So, what do you think? Leave it in the comments below and have a great day.